Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to the Finance 360-degree session. So today's session is again a very important session from your examination perspective, as the Reserve Bank of India has released a new regulation that is replacing the earlier regulation of the Reserve Bank of India, and this new regulation has created a new board of the Reserve Bank of India. So this becomes a very important news article, a very important release that the RBI has released. Okay, so first of all, here you can see that the government nominees will be present in the Payments Regulatory Board. So what is this Payment Regulatory Board? What is the regulations that has been released, and how many government nominees will be there in the Payments Regulatory Board? So all of this we are going to discuss in today's session. Okay, so government have a say in new Payment Regulatory Board. So how many members will be there, and the total members, the members from the government, and all of this we are going to discuss in today's session. What will be the quorum of the meeting, how many times at least the meeting would have held. So all of this we have to discuss in today's session. But before starting with the session, do subscribe to the YouTube channel of EduTap so that you continue getting these relevant videos, and do join our Telegram channel where you will get the PDF of the session, and the link for the Telegram channel is provided in the description box below. Okay, so let's start with today's session. Give me a thumbs up if I am clearly audible and visible. So good morning everyone. Good morning and welcome to the session everyone. So let's start with today's session. So in a major overhaul of the payments ecosystem, the Payments Regulatory Board Regulations 2025 was notified to pave the way for a new Payment Regulatory Board. So basically the new Payment Regulatory Board, this is going to replace the board for regulation and supervision of the payment and settlement system. So you can understand that this previous board, it is going to be replaced with the new board, that is the Payments Regulatory Board. And so for this, new regulations have been released in regards to how many members there will be, what will be the quorum of the meeting, how many times the meeting should held, and all of this we have to discuss. Okay, so now first of all, let's understand about the Board for Regulation and Supervision of Payment and Settlement System. So I hope all of you know that the Payment and Settlement System Act of 2007, this provides the legal framework for regulating and supervising the payment system in our country, in India. Okay, and as per this act, under this act actually provides the power to the Reserve Bank of India to regulate and supervise the payment system. Okay, so the Payment and Settlement System Act, this provides the legal framework for regulating and supervising the payment system in the country, and this act gives the power to the Reserve Bank of India to regulate the payment and settlement system in the country. Okay, so Reserve Bank of India as the regulatory authority has got the power from this Payment and Settlement System Act to regulate the payment and settlement system in the country. So this Payment and Settlement System Act, it aims to ensure the safety, security, integrity of the Indian financial system, particularly concerning with the payments and settlements, that once the payments are initiated, they are getting settled properly in the timely manner, and if there is any break that is coming, if there is any delay that is happening, so for that there are steps that are taken by the banks or the steps that are taken by the authorities so that it does not happen again. Okay, so this payment and settlement system, that works very smoothly in our country. So we have NEFT, RTGS, UPI system, IMPS system. There are various systems for the payment and settlement system. For that, there is the legal framework that is created under this Payment and Settlement System Act, and the RBI supervises and regulates the payment system as per this act. Okay, now the board. Now Reserve Bank of India, as the Reserve Bank of India is it has to look after the monetary policy also. The Reserve Bank of India has to look after the foreign exchange also. So the Reserve Bank of India can create a board and provide the powers to this board to handle the or to regulate and supervise the payment and settlement system. So Reserve Bank of India can delegate its powers to the board to look after the payment and settlement system in the country. Okay, so the Board for Regulation and Supervision of Payment and Settlement System Regulation 2008. So these regulations were released in power. So Reserve Bank of India released these regulations in 2008 in power under the Payment and Settlement System. Okay, so as per the power given under the Payment and Settlement System Act to the Reserve Bank of India, Reserve Bank of India, in exercise of its power under this act, created the regulations for the board that notified or that deals with the constitution of the Board for Regulation and Supervision of Payment and Settlement Systems. This is the committee under the Reserve Bank of India that looks after and that supervised and regulated the payment and settlement system. Okay, so the regulations deals with the composition of the BPPS, the powers and functions of the BPPS, as well as the meetings, that how many times the meetings will be held in the year, as well as what will be the minimum number of members that should be present in the meeting. That is the quorum of the meeting, the minimum members that should be present in the meeting. The constitution of the subcommittees that can be done by the BPPS. So basically RBI, in exercise of the powers that it has got under this act, RBI created the regulations for the BPPS and RBI delegated its powers to the BPPS to look after the payment and settlement system. Okay, so BPPS exercises the powers on behalf of the Reserve Bank of India for regulating and supervising the payment and settlement system under the Payment and Settlement System Act of 2007. Any confusion till now? So what has happened now that the RBI has now notified, RBI released the notification, and let me tell you that this notification is actually not present in the RBI website. Even if you go to the notification section, even if you go to the press release section, even if you go to the publication section, you will not be able to find this notification of the Reserve Bank of India because this is not released in RBI website. I had to go through the archives in the Gazette of India. There I found this notification of the Reserve Bank of India. I don't know why RBI has done so. I don't know why the government has done so. But this is very rare that the RBI notification is released in the Gazette of India. I don't know why RBI did so. But this topic was quite in news. So I went through all the Gazettes of India and the archives, and then I was able to find this notification. And this was actually released in Gazette of India on 21st May. But it was, if you see the published date of this notification was 21st May, but the issue date was actually 20th May. So if you have to find, you can go in the archives and you can find this. Okay. Okay. Now, the Reserve Bank of India, before there was the board, the BPPS was there. Now it is said that RBI has said that we are replacing the BPPS with the PRB, with the Payments Regulatory Board. So this is the new board that is created, that is replacing the BPPS, and in this new board actually the government is also getting the power. Okay, so this is the idea. So BPPS previously exercised the powers on behalf of the Reserve Bank of India for regulating and supervising the payment and settlement system under the act. Now what is happening that in exercise of the powers conferred under the payment and settlement system, so in exercise of the powers that the RBI has got from the payment and settlement system, the Reserve Bank of India hereby makes the following regulations. So RBI has released the following regulations, that is the Payments Regulatory Board Regulations 2025. So these regulations are released by the Reserve Bank of India. This is superseding the previous regulations of the BPPS. So BPPS regulations, the BPSS regulations, they are being superseded by the PRB regulations. So now this new board is going to be taking care of the payment and settlement system in our country. I hope this is very much clear that before there was the Board for Regulation and Supervision of Payment and Settlement System Regulations 2008. So this was the board that was taking care of the payment and settlement system previously, but now it is superseded by the PRB, that is the Payments Regulatory Board, for which the regulations have been released in 2025. Okay, very much clear, I hope. Now coming to the eligibility, tenure, and how many members will be there and such. No, actually, in the Gazette of India, it is less likely that the people will be able to know directly, because the Gazette of India is like, they have shown it in like very like not directly in the Gazette of India, but in the archives, and you have to go too much in deep to find it. Okay, so now coming to this point again, so eligibility and tenure of members nominated. So designated authority, now the Reserve Bank of India is the designated authority for the regulation and supervision of the payment system. So RBI has the power to regulate and supervise the payment system under the Payment and Settlement System Act of now the Reserve Bank of India shall exercise the powers, perform the functions and discharge the duties not directly but through a board to be known as the Payments Regulatory Board. So basically, as per the Payment and Settlement System Act, the RBI is the designated authority for the regulation and the supervision of the payment systems. Now RBI, it can delegate its powers to the board that is the Payment Regulatory Board, and the RBI can exercise its powers and such through this board. Okay. Now the board shall consist of the following members. The Governor of the Reserve Bank of India will be the chairperson of this board. So remember this very clearly. This is very important now. So here the board shall consist of the following members. The Governor of the Reserve Bank of India will be the chairperson of the board also. This is the PRB, the Payments Regulatory Board. So in this, the chairperson will be the Governor of the Reserve Bank of India. The Deputy Governor of the Reserve Bank of India, that is in charge of the payment and settlement systems, will be the member of the board. Okay. Another one officer of the Reserve Bank to be nominated by the Central Board of the Reserve Bank of India will be another member of the PRB. So three members or the three people will be from the Reserve Bank of India. The three people from the will be from Reserve Bank of India in this Payments Regulatory Board. The other three members, the other three persons, they will be nominated by the central government. So other three members of the PRB, they will be nominated by the central government. So how many members are there in the PRB? So in total there are 6 members in the PRB. 3 members or the chairperson and the 2 members are from the Reserve Bank of India, and the 3 members, they are nominated by the central government. I hope this is clear. Just like MPC, but there are certain changes also. Now the members of the board, to be nominated by the central government shall be nominated from amongst the persons that have ability, that have understanding, that have knowledge in this area, that have experience, that have expertise in the area of the payment system, information technology, including cyber security, law, etc. Now there are certain cases, or there are certain certain statements that are provided, that if a person has any of these, like if the person is under any of these criteria, so the person cannot be nominated as a member of the Payments Regulatory Board. So if a person is under any of this criteria, then that person cannot be nominated, shall not be nominated as a member of the Payment Regulatory Board by the central government. So member of the board, this is regarding the nomination by the central government. So member of the board to be nominated by the central government should have the experience, expertise, but no person shall be nominated as a member in case as a member by the central government, in case the person has completed the age of 70 years on the date of appointment as the member, is a member of parliament or any state legislature. So if the person is the member of parliament or any state legislature, then the person cannot be nominated as a member by the central government. If the person has been at any time declared as insolvent, then again the person cannot be nominated as the member of the board. Has been convicted of an offence which is punishable with an imprisonment for a term of 180 days or more. Okay. So this is the idea, that if the person has been convicted for an offence with an imprisonment for a term of 180 days or more, then the person cannot be nominated as a member by the central government. If the person is physically or mentally incapable of discharging the duties of a member of the board, or if the person has a material conflict of interest with any other payment system, is unable to resolve such conflict, in these cases the person cannot be nominated as the member by the central government. These are certain ideas. Ex officio means, okay, see, ex officio is a term. That means that, okay, if Mr. Sanjay Malhotra is the governor of the Reserve Bank of India, because he is the governor of the Reserve Bank of India, that's why he is becoming the chairperson of the Payments Regulatory Board. This is the idea. So ex officio means because they have the office, they are sitting in the office of the governor of the Reserve Bank of India, that's why they are becoming the chairperson of the Payment Regulatory Board. Similarly, deputy governor of the Reserve Bank of India, so they have the office of the deputy governor, that's why they are becoming a member in the Payments Regulatory Board. Okay, so this ex officio means because they have the office of a particular they have the office in the Reserve Bank of India, that's why they are becoming the member of the committee, or they are becoming the member of the board. Okay, this is the idea. Now Eligibility and tenure of the members nominated. So member of the board nominated by central government. So remember that here we are talking about the member of the board that is nominated by the central government unless he is a public servant as defined in Bharatiya Nyay Sanhita 2023 shall hold office for a period of 4 years and shall not be eligible for re-nomination. So basically, if a member is nominated, member of the board is nominated by the central government, they cannot hold office for a period of 4 years. They shall hold office for, like, they cannot hold office for more than 4 years. They shall hold office for a period of 4 years only, and they shall not be eligible for re-nomination. Okay. Next is a member of the board nominated by the central government unless he is a public servant as defined in the Bharatiya Nyay Sanhita 2023 may resign from the board. So a member of the board nominated by the central government, they can resign from their post, they can resign from the board at any time before the expiry of their tenure by giving to the central government a written notice of not less than 6 weeks. Okay. So, and on the acceptance of the resignation by the central government, the person can leave the board, the person can resign from the board. This is the basic idea. Okay. So I hope this is very much clear that the member of the board shall hold office for a period of 4 years. They are not eligible for re-nomination, and the person in the board nominated by the central government, they can resign, but they have to give a written notice of not less than 6 weeks. And when the notice is accepted by the central government, they can leave the position. Next is meetings of the board and quorum. So this is very important. Okay, the board shall ordinarily meet at least twice in a year. At least twice in a year. The board can meet 5 times, the board can meet 6 times, the board can meet 10 times in a year, but at least they have to meet as per the regulations. At least they have to meet twice in a year at such place or through such mode as may be decided by the chairperson from time to time. The members shall be given sufficient notice to enable them to attend the meeting. It's not like that today at 11 a.m. you are saying that okay, at 12 p.m. we have the meeting, or after 2 hours we have the meeting. So that is not doable, right? Because the people come from different areas, the people might be working in different cities. So members shall be given sufficient notice to enable them to attend the meeting. This is the idea. Now quorum for holding a meeting of the board shall be 3 members. So that means the quorum means the minimum members that should be present in the meeting to conduct the meeting. So minimum members that should be present for holding a meeting of the board shall be 3 members and shall include the chairperson. And in the absence of the chairperson, if the chairperson, that means the governor of the Reserve Bank of India, is not present, in that case the deputy governor, who is the member of the board, and so that should be present. If the chairperson is not present, so in his absence, the deputy governor, who is the member of the board, should be present, and a member nominated by the central government should also be present. It's not like that RBI has decided that internally they are going to, like, they have 3 members, so they will conduct the meeting. No, the chairperson should be present. In the absence of the chairperson, the deputy governor should be present, and at least 1 member nominated by the central government should be present. The meetings of the board shall be presided over by the chairperson. So for sure, if the chairperson is there, so for sure the meeting will be presided or headed by the chairperson. In the absence of the chairperson, the deputy governor can preside the meeting, can head the meeting. Okay, deputy governor who is a member of the board. So there are various deputy governor in the Reserve Bank of India, but the deputy governor who is the member of the board, in the absence of the chairperson, that deputy governor who is the member of the board can preside the meeting. Each member of the board have 1 vote, that is common knowledge, we can say. Each member in the board will have 1 vote. All the members, all the matters for approval which come up during any meeting. So let's say the meeting is happening of the board. If the meeting is happening of the board, and in case in the meeting the decision has to be taken on any topic, and there are 3 votes on yes and there are 3 votes on no. So similarly in the case of MPC this also happens. So let's say the meeting is happening and the decision has to be taken, and 3 members are saying yes, the 3 members are saying no. So in this case, the chairperson who is residing over the meeting will have a casting vote, will have an additional vote, will have a casting vote. In case the chairperson is not present, in that case the deputy governor who is the member of the board will have the casting vote, This is the idea. I hope this is clear, that all matters for approval which come up during any meeting of the board shall be decided by a majority of the votes of the members present and voting. And in the event of an equality of votes, let's say that 3 members have to be present. Let's say in the meeting there are 4 members that are present, and 2 members are saying yes, 2 members are saying no. In this case, whoever is presiding the meeting, the chairperson or the deputy governor, whoever is presiding the meeting, will have a casting vote, will have a second vote. That is the idea. Okay, the chairperson, or in the absence of the chairperson, the deputy governor, who is the member of the board, shall have a second or casting vote. Okay, nice. Meetings, next is if the chairperson, see what happens that let's say a immediate decision has to be taken, or a decision has to be taken over a topic, but it is thought by a chairperson that the meeting is not required. Okay, a whole full-fledged meeting is not required, because let's say one member is living in Jaipur, the other member is living in Dehradun, the other member is living in Kanyakumari. So all the members, like different members, are living in different areas. Okay, especially the members that are nominated by the government of India, they can be from anywhere, right? So all the members have to come for the meeting and take the decision on the topic. So it is thought by the chairperson that we have to take a decision on a topic, but that decision is not very big, or that topic is not very big to conduct a full-fledged meeting. So in this case, it is upon the chairperson. If the chairperson so directs, an item of business or issue which requires a decision of the board may be referred to members by circulation. So rather than conducting a full-fledged meeting, the chairperson can decide to take the decision through the circulation of the issue. Like all the members will get some agenda that, okay, this is the topic and this is the issue, and just say yes or no, or just give your decision. So if the chairperson so directs, an item of business or issue which requires a decision of the board may be referred to members by circulation. So email can be sent, or some draft can be sent, and such item may be decided by a majority of votes of the members, and in case there is equality of votes, the chairperson or the deputy governor, who is a member of the board, shall have a second or casting vote. Okay, so if the chairperson is absent, in that case, let's say the chairperson has fallen sick or something, so deputy governor, who is the member of the board, shall have a second or casting vote. So this is the idea. Next is the chairperson shall, on a request made in writing. So let's say a member of the board has requested in writing that there is the requirement of the meeting, that kindly convene a meeting, kindly hold a meeting. So the chairperson shall, on the request made in writing by the member of the board, convene a meeting of the board at such place or through such mode as chairperson may decide. Okay. The proceeding of the board shall be confidential. Of course, if the meeting is happening, that should be confidential. That is the idea. I hope this is also clear. If there is any confusion, kindly ask me right now. Okay. Next is additional information. Just some additional information we have to discuss now. So assistance to the board. So board shall be assisted by the Department of Payment and Settlement System of the Reserve Bank of India. So the Payments Regulatory Board shall be assisted by the Department of Payment and Settlement System of the Reserve Bank of India. Next is vacation of office. So a member that is nominated by the central government shall stop or cease to hold office if he is absent without the leave of the chairperson, without taking the permission from the chairperson, from 3 consecutive meetings of the board. So it's fine that you are not able to come to a meeting, but if you are not present in 3 consecutive meetings, that is a problem. Okay, so a member nominated by central government shall stop to hold office if he is absent without the leave of chairperson from 3 consecutive meeting of the board. Okay, now powers on behalf of the board. Now board can delegate some of its powers to the committees, okay, to the different committees. So the board, the Payments Regulatory Board, by general or special order, can delegate any or all of its powers or functions to the chairperson or a member of the board or a subcommittee of the board or office. So basically, they can delegate their powers to the committees and subcommittees also, if required, if the special order is taken or general order is taken, okay. Next is constitution of committees. If the committees are being conducted, let's say the Payments Regulatory Board has thought that, okay, we want a new kind of system through which the payments can happen more smoothly, or let's decrease the timeline for the payments that is happening. Okay, let's say that through the check, the payments now happen in on the same day, but let's say they want to further reduce the time, that as soon as you give the check, in 10 minutes the transaction is done. So if a decision has to be taken, or if there is the requirement to do the research, the Payments Regulatory Board can have a committee or can have a subcommittee, so that the research can happen and the discussion can be done by the committee, and the committee can provide the recommendation, okay, that it is possible or not possible right now. So the board may constitute committee or committees for providing assistance or advice in the performance of its functions as may be considered necessary from time to time. A committee shall have the power to invite persons with experience. So the committee that is constituted, that will have the power to invite persons with experience in the field of payment and settlement system to attend the meeting of the committee as the invitees, okay. Now remuneration and other allowances that is payable to the members or invitees. So basically members nominated by the central government to the board, as well as members nominated under the sub-regulation 1 of the 10th section. So here basically the board may constitute the committee. So if the committee is constituted, so members that is nominated in the committee will also get the remuneration. The invitees to the board or any committee shall be entitled to remuneration for each meeting they are attending, and expenses that is relating to their travel, transportation, lodging, boarding as may be decided by the board from time to time. So basically the members nominated by the central government to the board, as well as members nominated in the committee for providing the assistance or advice in the performance of the functions, as well as the invitees to the committee, they all will get some remuneration for attending each of the meeting, as well as for their travel, lodging, boarding and such, okay. This is the idea. So now the last thing is that all the members of the board, they have to sign a form of declaration of fidelity and secrecy, that they will keep the meetings confidential, okay, as well as the committees and the members of the committee, they also have to sign the form of declaration of fidelity and secrecy. This is the idea. So this is it. This is the complete payments regulatory board regulations that are released for 2025, and we have discussed the important points. Now this is the perspective 360-degree session. If you want me to take a session on this topic in descriptive writing, that you can ask. But this perspective 360-degree session, this is conducted on Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 5 p.m. The Monday session is going to be taken by me for a few weeks, and Wednesday and Friday session is taken by Jaskaran sir. And this is for your answer writing practice, so that you know that how to write the answers, how to make the introduction, body and the conclusion, what all points you can write in the body, what all points you can write in the introduction and such, okay. So this series Perspective 360, it is conducted on Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 5 p.m. On Monday I take the session for your finance current affairs for the time being, and Wednesday and Friday Jaskaran sir is taking the session. So this is it. I hope you enjoyed the session. Now this is the first question. Try to answer the question. Let me tell you that this is very important regulation that the RBI has released, where the Payments Regulatory Board, it is replacing the BPSS. So this becomes important, okay. So try to answer this question. Let's see how many of you are aware about it now. This is the second question. This is a smaller question. So try to answer this question also. So here you just have to directly tell that how many members should be present. Like what is the quorum of holding a meeting of the board. So this is it. Thank you everyone. I hope you understood everything. Is there any problem, or if you have any problem, you can also comment down below. So do write your query in the comment section below. And thank you everyone. Thank you for joining. Do